All right, man, peace. So, brothers, this is going to be volume 2 in a series that I started on YouTube entitled, Are Liberal Women Narcissists? And of course, the answer to that is yes. I've been warning brothers for the last couple of years that the use of the word narcissist by the liberal woman was becoming more and more popular. And that's because they were trying to get ahead of the curve of so many men today finally starting to grasp a firm understanding of what the woman is actually about. That being that she is a self-worshipper by nature. All women are self-worshippers by nature. It's just that the liberal woman is inordinately a self-worshipper. She's unable to balance out her sense of self-worship and self-aggrandizement with an actual care about others. So she eventually becomes a sadist. She starts to enjoy inflicting pain upon others, megalomaniacally. But just to get back to the point, is the liberal woman a narcissist? Yes. Are they trying to use that term to attack men because they're worried that men are going to discern and decipher what women are about? Yes. But particularly the liberal woman. The woman in general, as long as they're not liberal, are people who can be instructed as long as they're raised in the right environment. Even the liberal woman to a degree, because the liberal woman is basically a young girl who was raised in a toxic environment and she was told to immerse herself and embrace the sense that everything should always revolve around her and be about her. Well, we're going to see that in this case right here involving Miss Wendy Alexander. You know, the short and thick person here who is going to be revealed to be a super freak by the defendant. And those factoids are very important to us understanding what the dynamic of this society when it comes to the narcissistic woman is actually about. It doesn't matter how attractive she is. It doesn't matter who she is. It doesn't matter what she's accomplished. It doesn't matter how she treats others. It's all about her. And you have to understand that when a woman says, I want a man who respects women, what she really means is I want a man who worships women. Because they speak in what George Orwell called newspeak, in which certain terms and phrases actually mean something different. So anyway, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
Plaintiff Wendy Alexander met the defendant at a club where he was a bouncer.
This silly looking bitch walked up in the courtroom like she's a handyman and she runs a hardware store. Built like the Violator from Spawn.
And there was an instant connection. Wendy claims she soon discovered the defendant was a narcissist, and she's suing him today for breach of contract and a loan.
Once again, brothers, modern day liberal females are trying to project the use of that term narcissist and the concept behind it on men so that they can get it out of their system before the man uses that word on them accurately.
Defendant Brian Phillips admits that he met Wendy at a club, but says it was a swingers club. And the night they met, Wendy was in the basement of the club having sex with several men.
That bro was doing a bukkake special. It was just frosting everywhere, all upside her forehead.
Brian denies owing Wendy for anything.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Actually, Brian and I had met at a club. He was a bouncer. There was an
Yeah, I bet he was a bouncer. He was bouncing you up and down on top of him, just like every other man up in the damn club.
action to begin with. We had been dating for quite some time.
You mean fucking?
And the longer I was in the relationship, the more of a narcissist I found him to be.
Did you really find him to be a narcissist, or did you start to understand that he was not going to put you on a pedestal and treat you as his alpha and omega? Brothers, in many of these quote-unquote relationships, when the woman stops being as infatuated and obsessed with you as she was when she was in her crush stage, she'll start to leave that phase, the infatuation phase, and justify it by claiming that it's you who's changing as opposed to her. As I always state, the woman operates according to two main emotions, that being envy and boredom. And once the woman starts to grasp exactly what your processes are and what your protocols are on a daily basis, instead of her just acknowledging them and accepting them as a part of your humanity and functionality, she might start to nitpick. That's why I call it the nitpicking phase.
Oh, do you have to have pancakes every Monday morning? Oh my God, why you gotta wear gray shoes whenever you go to your mother's house? I can't believe this. We gotta make a right at this corner whenever you go to the convenience store.
All types of stupid shit. That's why they find themselves getting dumped.
He does go from 0 to 100 in a matter of seconds.
So I guess he Drake, huh?
The narcissist part.
Actually, he blames me for a lot of things. Or if I explain something to him or point something out to him, he will immediately say, "Oh, it's my fault," and then makes me feel like that I'm the guilty one.
So in other words, you have no idea what the word narcissist means.
So that's where I come up with that.
That's when you came up with that. At least she accurately described and perfectly contextualized what her quote-unquote definition of narcissism is something that she concocted because it has nothing to do with reality.
I just like to hear what folks believe that definition to be, because that's such a popular word now.
In other words, Judge Mathis knows that modern-day liberal females are pulling that word out of the dictionary and throwing it around willy-nilly. That's why he said that he notices that it's a popular word now. Brothers should stay on point and always be abreast or stay abreast of exactly what is going on around them, what concepts, what words are being used, what motifs are being established about society in general, especially pertaining to the so-called black man.
The definition is extreme love for oneself.
Absolutely, aka self-worship, which is much more applicable to the average woman, particularly the liberal woman, than it is for men, because men by nature in their right mind think macrocosmically. That is why men have created society and civilization. That's why men have created school systems and judicial systems and civic systems, because it's our responsibility to create things for the benefit of all. The woman by nature is a self-worshiper. She's a narcissist. That's why she's better in rapports or dynamics where everything is about her and the child, or her and her husband. Women are not good as administrators or leaders because they actually have to care about and think about the masses of people. So what you'll find is when the woman becomes a mayor or a governor, a supervisor, etc., she'll try to lead people as if they're her children, because that's the only way that they can lead a large group of people, is by trying to revert to her mother instinct, because she has no real leadership instinct.
So I didn't quite hear that. I heard
because it wasn't there.
A man that was just didn't want to be bothered with a lot of mess.
Absolutely. Once again, see, kudos to Judge Mathis for understanding what she was trying to do. When you stand up against a woman's nonsense, the liberal woman's nonsense particularly, they're going to try to throw those words at you. You have to stand your ground and have a backbone. Number one, have your own place. So many domestic violence disputes occur because men move in with women and hope that it's something that's halcyonic or peaceful or tranquil. And the woman by nature is a nitpicker. Not all women, but in general, that's what they are. So you have to be intelligent enough and astute enough to discern what your woman is dealing with mentally. Does she know how to interact with you? Does she know how to communicate with you? Does she respect your intelligence enough to communicate with you? Does she respect your manhood enough to be able to communicate, as opposed to trying to make everything about her?
You tell me.
Your Honor,
she a freak and a hoe.
You don't want to tell you the truth about where we met at.
Tell us the truth.
We met at a swingers club.
Uh-oh.
Oh, so y'all was at the playground, what you saying?
Where I was
Y'all got on the swing and the slide.
employed as the bouncer.
Oh, you all on swings?
There was a swing there.
Go ahead, I'll let you tell me.
There was a
You
swing
tell
there.
me.
He about to let it all hang out.
Go ahead.
The night I met her, I was employed at this place. I worked there as the security and as the...
Your Honor, the night I met her, I was there, and she won something that we call the popsicle challenge. I'll leave it at that. Let's just say there were no teeth marks on those popsicles. That was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life, Your Honor.
chauffeur driver. And the night I met Wendy, she was down in the basement having sex with several men at the time.
How's that?
With no condom, huh? Add that, because we know they were not wearing protection. Especially a broad that looked like this, looked like a damn baby hippo. She's just happy to get all the dick that she can muster. Let me wind this shit back a little bit. Look how interested Mathis is. So say, for example, if you were someone who was highly esteemed like a judge, how would you find a swingers club like that? You know, just asking for a friend.
And the night I met Wendy, she was down in the basement having sex with several men at the time.
How's that relevant?
Well, first off, bitch, there's no such word as relevant. But the reason why it's relevant is because we're gaining some insight into your character or lack thereof. That's how it's relevant.
How's that relevant?
Because I want to let this know Wendy's not willing to tell the truth about that. What is she going to tell the truth about?
There you go. Lay it down. I like that. If the bitch is not honest about how much of a hoe she is, how's she going to tell the truth in this court case, Your Honor? You know what? I'll bang my gavel right now. I say, you know what? Judgment for the defendant.
I'm going to let you know the story, Your Honor.
And you characterize his personality, and so he has the right to make statements about your personality.
Absolutely. She came in calling him a narcissist.
Call him a narcissist, he calls you a freak. So,
well, he'd be lying because she clearly is a super freak.
There's nothing wrong with being a freak if that's your thing. Freak off with anybody you want, as many minutes you want, as little as you want, whatever.
Absolutely. I mean, shit. Nothing wrong with you if you're a freak. You know, say, for example, if you had a freaky fantasy about having sex with a judge. You know, a judge that only wears a shirt and a tie and a robe, but no pants on underneath. A judge that's about to go on commercial break in 3.5 minutes and would welcome you into his chambers, you know, and help you get that judgment that you want. If you win that popsicle challenge with me like you did it back at the club.
That's what they do at the basement of the swing club?
That's what they do, Your Honor.
You know, I'm not going to act like a prune because someone very, very close to me, she said I was a prune when I was just talking about this. I said,
Prude.
huh?
P-R-U-D-E. Prude.
Yeah. So you know I'm not one.
Well, she might have called you a prude and a prune, depending on how your body looks. Who the hell knows?
So you know I'm not one because I don't even know how to spell it.
Yeah, I was talking to this young lady. She called me a prune because she said my chest was dried up. So I needed some lotion. I said, okay, bitch, well, why don't you come lick on it?
Because I say, you know, such and such, he said he goes to a swinging club. And he said they just walk around and randomly go up to people and say hi or whatever, talk to them, and then they just go in the back immediately. I say, and then he says that they get a little booths or sometime in the jacuzzi and they do their thing.
And I said, wow. So you mean to tell me that you're going to tell me all that shit but not give me the address?
Sometimes in front of people. They meet each other and have random sex. So I'm saying that sounds kind of whatever.
No, say what you said. You said, that sounds kind of exciting. Especially for a nigga like me that only got a couple decades left on this earth. I would love to experience something like that. A menage a 7.
So she says, well, don't men go to regular clubs and bars to try to pick up women?
Don't women do the same thing?
Yeah. And don't those men try to go home on the first night with those women? Yeah.
And women do the same thing?
They'll go from woman to woman at that club.
And them bras will go from man to man. A lot of these bras are going from man to woman to woman to man to man to woman.
They can find someone who will go with. Right?
Yes, sir.
I said, yeah. She's saying sometimes, unfortunately, the low-down dogs go home to their woman or their wife.
And a lot of times, these low-down hoes go home to their husband. Any cat who's worked in corporate America would tell you that the biggest hoes are the married ones. They're the ones who are always flirting with men on the job because they're trying to see if they quote-unquote still got it, or they're just bored with their husband's penis. So it goes both ways. Believe me, if they were to take accurate statistics of who's creeping around on who more, I promise you the woman is outflanking the man, because women by nature are better liars and they're better arguers.
After they've been with another one. Multiple women, right? Yeah. She said, well, at the swing club, they just cut to the chase. They ain't going through all that. They ain't buying no drinks. Ain't going woman to woman to beg and plead. No, we go right to it. We know what we're here for. Let's get right on into it.
And at that point, I felt a tingle down low I hadn't felt in a while. So I told my friend, why don't you leave my office? I got to search the directory to find that place, that club.
On no club to sweet talk you. I don't have time for that. I'm not bringing you no presents. You know what this is. Let's get on to it.
Pretty much.
Now you can.
So I joined the club later on that week. My code name is Gabble, because I like to bang that hammer.
Fire your freakery if you like, or you can leave it alone. That's up to you.
No, I'm good.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Good enough. And what do you want to tell me about the breach of contract and the balance due on a loan?
We actually had lived together, and at one point I had asked him to get out.
Let me start with when you moved in together.
Okay, that was in July.
Number one mistake that he made was moving in with a woman. Brothers, you never, ever move in with a woman unless you have your own place on the side, ever.
Of 2018, we signed a 2-year lease actually on the house because we were renting. Both of us were on that lease. Once he did move out, I found out actually from my landlord that he was moving out because his current landlord had called to get a reference. So that's how I found out that he was moving out. He left me with rent to pay on my own. And
Well, were
utilities.
you all paying half and half, or?
Yeah.
Go
And
ahead.
so once he left, I felt as though he needed to pay half, and I pay half. And we also had to keep the utilities on as well. And that was per the landlord's request until he found a qualified tenant, because there was no fee to cancel the lease, to terminate the lease. It was just the keeping the utilities on and paying the rent until he found a qualified candidate. In regards to loan, we actually borrowed $5,000 from a family friend for him to get teeth implants, which he did not do. I know that we had spent the money between the two of them.
Right, but expound. Why exactly did he need the teeth implants? Could it be because he has a meth addiction, just looking at the defendant, how he's moving his head around, looking down out of the blue for no reason? It seems as though he has a drug issue, but I guess that that's not a part of the case. Or if she was to bring up why he had to have his teeth implanted or a new set of teeth put in, and she said it's because of his drug problem, that's why he's losing his teeth, he can respond back with other issues that she has.
At this point in time, $1,500 has been paid. There's $3,500 left, so I am asking for $1,750.
To pay the debt that he owes for his teeth.
Half. Half of the difference
Your
of
Honor,
what's owed.
it was never used for my teeth. I never got any of the money.
Who received it?
Miss Alexander received the money.
Is that correct?
She was.
No, I actually have a copy of the contract that was signed
who
by the two
received
of
it,
us.
man? Who?
And what the fuck you doing moving in with a broad that goes to swinger clubs and gets banged out by 5 and 6 different dudes at once? What's wrong with you?
The money.
It was put into my account
Thank you.
because he can't have an
Did he
account.
benefit from it?
I have.
Because he does not have a personal account.
Did,
Yes, I
did he benefit from the $5,000?
Yes.
How?
We did.
How?
We both spent money because we went on a cruise.
Okay.
And mind you, a swingers cruise.
I can't get enough. In which I
He
want to
said he
remind
can't
you.
get enough.
I want to remind you that Wendy ruined that cruise for us
How
because
so?
of her jealousy.
How so?
Her jealousy and her anger when she gets to drinking.
Jealousy
We
of
didn't
what?
get to-
Everybody's
we
wide
didn't get to
open.
the
I
part
don't
where-
understand.
Of course she was jealous, because that's how those people are. You know, the swingers and the open marriage people. Those are the ones that get the most jealous because they want to know exactly what you're doing and how you're doing it. And if you make those type of arrangements and then go creep off with somebody else without their knowledge or without their permission, they look at that as quote unquote cheating, even though you're on a swingers cruise, which makes no damn sense whatsoever.
When me and Winnie started dating, she informed me that she used cocaine. She had STDs.
Oh, there you go. Shit. Bro uses cocaine and has herpes.
And she's an alcoholic.
I don't believe that.
So you said to yourself, wow, she's a real winner. Let me move in with her. I'm not even looking worse at her. I knew she had to have all that shit going on. For her to get banged out in the basement of a damn swingers club, she got at least herpes, gonorrhea, and syphilis. Who the hell knows what that bro have? You know what I'm saying? But why are you getting with her for?
It is the facts.
I just don't believe you.
This is the truth.
I don't believe you.
That's okay.
I believe him. She's coked out. But he has issues also. He might be coked out as well, and most likely a meth addict.
But it's the truth.
Go ahead, man. You don't
That's
have
why
to defend that. He's making up everything he can. Let me see the contract you all signed.
Sure.
Now tell me about this is the loan. Tell me about
That's the loan. Did you
yes.
want the lease
the
contract?
breach of contract.
Okay, here's the copy of the lease with both of us on it. I have it highlighted up the top.
And your only defense to the loan is that she didn't give you any of the money.
I didn't spend the money. I didn't get none of the money.
That you signed this, and what months are you asking for? Did he fail
This
to
one
pay?
is for May, June, and July. And
His
July was a partial rent because I left in the middle of July.
His
I had to
share,
keep
right?
It until July 15th, 13th or 15th.
Sir, what do you say to this? Your share of the
She
rent.
asked me to move. She told me to move out
When
of
did
her
you
house.
move?
April 16th.
Yeah, it was April 16th. I know that for a fact because I had to get out in time to get down to Atlanta for Freaknik on April 20th. So yeah, it was April 16th I moved out.
Is that true, ma'am? He moved.
I
April
actually
16th?
asked him to stay and asked him to be an adult about the situation, and I could stay in the other third bedroom.
You're looking for something. You have some
Yes, I do.
evidence
I have
of
a
that?
text message saying that.
That's the worst thing in the fucking world. When these couples start to fracture and all of a sudden they sleeping in different bedrooms and they're not talking to each other in the same apartment or the same house. Man, please.
Sir?
No, Your Honor. Once she...
If a broad can't communicate, send her on her fucking way or let her go on her own. It doesn't matter. But if the communication is not good, arrivederci.
to move,
Okay.
and she told me that her daughter did no longer trust me.
Did she ask you one time in the midst
No.
of an argument or several times?
Several times. She would
Let's
tell
see
me
what
not
she
to come home.
has. Let's see what she
She would ask me to not
That's
come
the
home. And so, being an adult, I just rented my own place.
Let me mind you that at one point in time he told me to get out, and so I took my daughter and my dog and we went
And your suitcase full of dildos and other sex toys.
to a hotel room for a night.
And I didn't ask her to leave. She said she left because she was scared. I didn't ask her to leave. I asked
She got scared because you told her that you wanted to go back to having regular sex.
her to stay.
Well, there's been a remote control thrown into a wall where there's a hole in the wall.
On your way home. I don't have.
The reason why the defendant did that was because he was trying some new freaky shit. It's called TV glory hole.
Home. This is him. You on your way home? I don't have a home. Are you looking at that house? I told you that you can stay at the house as long as you need to. Or if you choose to keep the house.
Brothers, a lot of these females, when they're acting really amenable towards you or really amiable towards you, especially too early, it's because they need someone to help them with the bills. A lot of these broads, they want to move into a house, but their credit is not good enough for them to get one on their own, or their income is not good enough to get one on their own. So they try to make shit work with a dude who they're not really feeling anymore, or they try to start a new relationship with some sucker who they think can help them pay their mortgage.
Sir, she said you can stay as long as you need to stay.
Your Honor, I want to point out the fact that Wendy's been arrested for domestic battery against me. That's a fact.
She jumped on you?
That is a fact. And right now she has a
Are you sure it just wasn't some freaky shit y'all was doing? Or y'all put on boxing gloves and nothing else?
trespass order against her from entering my property because she pushed her way into my house, and I had to call the police to have her removed.
She was horny.
Where she came into my property and assaulted the person that was there with me. And the police had to come, and for some reason...
Well, you know the bitch like it rough.
She was swinging at you?
No.
I see what you did there, Judge Mathis.
Oh yeah, she was swinging. She broke the girl's nose that was in the house.
Damn, she broke the broad's nose that was in the house.
All right.
She broke the girl's. She's going to portray herself as an angel, but these are facts.
All right, so the evidence shows you breached the contract, and I'm going to grant her judgment, and that is your portion of the rent and your portion of the loan, which you signed. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
I'm just glad this is finalized and we can move forward.
Y'all ain't together anymore. This bro still wants some rod from you, man. You better watch yourself.
I'm moved forward. I have nothing to say.
But anyway, that's basically it on that. As we saw in the court case, many times narcissistic females are delusional as well. They think that a relationship is still ongoing that has been done for a very long time. And because oftentimes they're the last person to accept something, particularly the truth, they string things out in their own mind, and that feeds into their entitlement mentality. But anyway, that basically is what it is. So peace.